Я ще не прокинувся, тому без вебочки. Але, звичайно, звук ми прочекаємо. Так. Я ще не прокинувся, тому. Це в поряді. Уф. Так. Ага. Так, ну тут істина одна. Не добратися до додаткових квестів. Ніяким чином. Бо тут все зачинено. Ладно. Це трати часу. Можливо, ми повернемося. Може спробувати.
Spotted! Watch out, boys! There's one of them! Watch yourselves! It's one of them! Bloody monster! Steady, boys! We've got one of them here!
Давай. Ладно. О боже.
Over there! There's one of them! Get their weapons ready! Everyone!
Так, все ж таки знайшли мене, да?
Oh, that's gonna smart!
Боже, як ти мене знайшов? Нарешті. Так. Місце, де бахнула бомба. Ми можемо спробувати, але я не впевнений, що нас туди впустять, у цю локу. О, тут навіть... Ого! Тут навіть поїзда їздять. Я тільки це помітив. Так. Що у нас? Відки ігроків. Гравців.
What?
У мене ж є приотомлення. Чому я не можу його дати?
Goodbye, Mr. Good evening. What? Is there anything in...
How dare you say such a thing?
Goodbye.
Like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
Do you have a job?
Звичайно, ні.
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
What do people say about this place?
Нічого не пам'ятаю.
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
Комуністи.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home. You're sleeping rough.
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
This city has abandoned so many of its children. It's tragic.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Хм. Ага. У нього амнезія, а в мене немає від амнезії нічого.
So long.
Так, ну я поки їх взагалі лікувати не можу, виходить, чи що? У мене ж наче... Ну, від амнезії може і немає.
Evening, Ruth.
Evening,
Ні, є, дивіться, в мене є від амнезії. Я взагалі нікого в цьому
So long,
місці не можу
Rufus.
лікувати.
Be careful. Take care.
Це тупо. Ну, по сюжеті я впевнений, там далі я зможу, але якщо я хочу зараз. В чому це проблема? Може я щось Не розумію поки, може це як частина сюжету обов'язково. О, ти що стукаєш?
Good evening.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Додому не пускають?
Evening.
Evening.
So long.
А як? О, він кормить
You
крис.
should eat more, Jack. I can feel your bones these days. Hey, stop biting me. I'm not a piece of cheese. Don't worry. I'll always be here for you. You should eat more, Jack. I can feel your bones these days.
А. Я не встиг, да?
I cannot enter. Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
I'll leave you then.
Та блін, пустіть мене, дайте мені карту. Де тут взагалі карта? О, карта. Так. Мені потрібно перебратися через мост. Через мост мені перебратися тільки одна можливість, і то я не впевнений, що вона зараз можлива. Скоріше за все, це буде відкрито по сюжету, хоча...
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. May I ask you a few questions?
Who are you? What do you want?
As I just told you, I'm a doctor. From the Pembroke Hospital, actually.
The Pembroke Hospital, you say? I ain't paying any bill left by Clay.
I'm not here to collect payment, Miss...
Miss Edwina Cox. So what do you want then? Fancy buying something from me, maybe?
What can you tell me about your work?
I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell things, and I send my wet boot boys after anyone who don't play nice with me.
Gang member and shopkeeper. Can't be easy running double shifts.
If you're interested, I may find use of a doctor who can freely walk across the city, you know.
You're quite blunt, aren't you?
I like people who know what they want and say what they think. This is a time of great opportunity for those ready to embrace their destiny.
I'm not interested in a career in the criminal underworld, Miss Cox.
Fair enough. Stay away from us then, if you don't want to get hurt or worse.
Since my return from the war, I don't feel that concerned by threats, knives, or even bullets, if you must know.
That's exactly what that stupid trade unionist claimed after he attacked one of us. Booth and I reminded him a bullet beats words every time.
Щоб просто помститися?
What can you tell me about this part of town?
You can't trust anyone around here. As soon as you lower your guard, you can be sure some arsehole will take advantage of you.
You sound like you're thinking of somebody in particular.
Take the gravediggers of Southwark. They must pay me every week, but it looks like they forgot who gave them permission to steal from the dead.
Looting corpses in a mass grave. That is a new low.
Whatever.
Осуджую, справді
Hey,
таке.
since you're a doctor and all, maybe you can access that forbidden area and remind those bastards what they owe.
Really? Don't you think that's a little bit excessive?
Bastards, all of them. This region only responds to violence and threats.
Ну... Стабільно, поки 3 вже людини, яку можна буде по планам, якщо дуже важко буде проходити гру, можна вбивати.
Tell me about the man you and Booth killed, Edwina.
The bastard killed one of us and received retribution. There's nothing else to say.
What happened exactly?
I don't know and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really happened, but you executed him anyway.
No one messes with the wet boot boys, Doctor. This is our territory, and this is our law.
What happened exactly?
I don't know, and I don't care. One of ours was killed by that communist bastard, but he didn't brag for long.
So you have no idea what really...
No one messes.
And your conscience is clear. You kill without hesitation.
Violence is an efficient tool, Dr. Reed, when used properly.
So you decide who lives and who dies, just like that.
Yes, Doctor. Just like that. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying it's my way of dealing with troublemakers.
Can I see...
As long as you have...
Понятно. Жіночка така собі.
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you see I'm busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed, that's who I am. And who are you?
Ah, some fancy gentleman we've got here. Clear off. We don't want strangers on our streets.
So you won't tell me your name, then?
The name is Booth Digby. Maybe I'll ask my boys to break one or two of your bones, just so you remember it.
Are you some kind of vigilante patrolling these streets at night?
Something like that, but the police aren't in charge here. We are, see?
So you're a concerned criminal, is that it?
Using funny jokes about me and my boys, are you? Fuck. You must have some balls.
I saw many men like you during the war, Mr. Digby. Greedy little cockroaches who feed on despair.
I could kill you for saying that. But, nah. You've been a soldier. I can respect that.
So, tell me about your gang, then.
What? Have you got a death wish? You really want me to answer that?
Well, yes. You
А
seem
на
so
вигляд ти
proud of
виглядаєш
yourself,
більш
so
поважною
tell me
людиною, а не
who
якось
you
бидло.
Oi! I'm the boss, all right? The wet boot boys work for me. All of them. Situation round here is better than other districts because of us. Because of me.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Things ain't that bad, thanks to us. We give people what they need, and we control this borough.
Well, you're not doing a very good job. People are still dying here like everywhere else.
Yeah, well, we can't be everywhere all the time. And Edwina says if we can find more guns, we could be more efficient.
More efficient? Really? You should probably tell Edwina that guns are useless against diseases and infections.
Incredible. You know what? You're lucky she can't hear you right now. She's more smart than patient. My sweet queen of the docks.
Tell me about the man you killed, Booth. What happened?
One of us had been killed, so we had to retaliate. That's the whole story.
There has to be more to it than that.
No, really, one of us got killed, so the killer had to die. That's how things have always been done round here. No one gives a shit.
Так, ну, гра не зобов'язує жопу підлізати, щоб якось щось з нього випитати. Тому однажды вас вб'ють, або ви не праві. Однажды вас вб'ють, це точно йому не сподобається, ви не праві, вибіжали. Ну, давай ви не праві. Чоловічні. В жопу, я
Are
хочу
you so
вибіжали.
heartless that you could pull the trigger and kill someone without even blinking?
Have you looked around recently? Do you really think one more body will make a difference?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's locked.
Так, ну і я таким чином до моста не доберуся. Так, ну ладно, я не знаю. Як туди, що туди, може мені ще взагалі рано. Судячи по всьому, мені все ж таки рано. Так, ну що, побігли? Зараз. Зараз мені ліворуч, потім праворуч. Це місце? А ми тут були. А, мост. Хлопці, то ви тут взагалі.
The leads, boys!
It's locked, all right.
Хто мене чим хворіє? Амнезія є, простуда. Приутомлення, простуди в мене немає. Є. Що в мене ще нема? Дія, простуда, приутомлення. Незрозуміло. Незрозуміло. Поновлюється. Мігрень. 2 мігрені. 2 переутомлення. І ще одна простуда. Дві мігрені, 2 переутомлення. Туда.
Easy does it, boys. Deal with this. Ah! Oh, Christ!
Ага, вона втекла. Тобто вона ще жива. Ти ж, твоя дружина жива. Колишня дружина, навряд чи її можна назвати. Теперішня.
It's locked, all right.
А, я тут був ще, точно.
Get their weapons ready! We found one!
Боже, звідки це береться? Я не знаю. Я не виставляв ніякі такі чекери. Вони самі виставляються. Це гра ще стопашить. Так, мені не йти. Може бомба зарвалася ж таки десь знизу. Мені каже на неї. Хто мене просив про бомбу? От знову. От знову. Я не виставляв цього чекера. Якісь ритуали. Ну, схоже, що бомба, судячи по рисовці, взорвалась десь тут.
This place. Rain may have washed away the blood, but not the memory. My poor Mary.
Здоров, хлопці, ви жалієте, що вас поставили крадіжка. Красти у мертвих в Саутуаркі. Кажуть, перший і останній раз. Годі нити, радуйтесь, радійте, що я не передав взагалі ваше послання Едвіні. За нього вона б вам яйця відрізала. Крім того, одна пташка мені наспівала, що ви наді мною посміхаєтесь. Щодо того, що я бачив у Пірса. Значить, я просто псих, який своєї тіні боїться, або сумасшедший, або скажений якийсь там, який боїться привидів, словно старуха. Чудово, мені подобається, коли мої парні щасливі. Будьте впевнені, цей псих прийде помочитись на ваші окровавлені трупи після того, як монстр, якого я бачив, хаває ваші мізки. Насолоджуйтесь погодою, кажуть, буде туман і дощ. Жений. По суті, в чому різниця? Те, що ми робимо, це ж теж мародерство. По суті, мародерство. Але ж грати якось то потрібно. Якщо не тут бомба взорвалась, то де вона взагалі могла взорватися? Ну будемо чесними, ну не може ж бути такого, що це не бомба.
Yes. The place has changed since the explosion, but it was definitely here. I should find some way to pay my respects.
Ага. Добре, хлопці, ви мені ще більш важку завдання дали. А де я. Ага. Дякую.
May all
Питання
who suffered
вирішено.
from this tragedy find or rest in peace.
Так, ну мені потрібно додомку, а значить.
Burn it, boys!
Так.
It's a leech! Kill it! You're mine, Vampyr!
Ого.
Stupid beast!
Бля, я не туди пішов, та фак. Ладно, наступної ночі піду. Та блін, краще не ризикувати. Та блін!
Watch yourselves! There's one of them! See them fancy clothes? This one's a tough! Look lively! It's on to us!
Диви, кого я до тебе привів.
Braille. I need someone who can read this.
Я вже вивчив. Так, що і там. Нормально, нормально. Прокинувся вже.
Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Oh, you're that doctor.
I found the location of the explosion, Mr. Delaney. I placed a flower for you where it happened, just as you asked.
Really? That's so kind. I never thought someone would... Well, thank you, Doctor.
It's nothing, really. And I'm sorry for your loss.
What? No, I didn't know them. No car was supposed to park there that day. Stupid bastard, why did he park there?
You're the man who hid that bomb.
I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone.
I want you to remember the bomb, Dyson. Tell me about it.
Жесть.
I don't want to remember it.
Ой, жесть.
Why use a bomb? What were you trying to destroy?
The Dawson and Dawson ammunitions factory. A symbol of violence against the people. My group wanted to destroy it to send a message.
The victims. They were not the target then.
I spent so much time figuring out the perfect moment. I used a short fuse. No car had ever parked there. They all died.
I sense your guilt, Dyson. Why is that? Did you not think violence was an acceptable political tool?
I still believe our fight was just. By killing an innocent couple who were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. No way.
That bomb also killed you that day, don't you see? You just die a slower death, drink by drink.
I know. Maybe I deserve judgment. Until that day, I'll just be Dyson the drunk, not Dyson the murderer.
Dyson, Dyson.
Goodbye.
Кінець.
Tom has so much alcohol, he could keep this district afloat for quite some time.
Ну це і добре. Я так розумію, завдяки йому і це тримається. Юноша арестован за спробу на вбивство, покушення. Пам'ятаю. Вчора ввечері поліція арештувала молодого чоловіка по імені Том Вот за намагання вбити в відомому районі Серебряний колокол з дії і лише назвав своє ім'я. Поліцейський, який відповів на наші питання, підтвердив, що пістолет був Заряджен. Скоріш всього, тепер суд його королевства. Його величності покарає Отца по всій строгості закона. Наша відправляється в тюрму. Більш-менш на декілька років. Так, що трапилось? У мене стрім відвалився. Файн. Бачите, знову відкриваються порти. Я тут не ставив ніяких. Що ви від мене хочете? Гра трошки забагова. Ой. Грі років до хіра, а метки так і ставляться самостійно. Я залишу тому. Навіщо мені цей джин? Хоча... Скільки там джину?
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
Ого, ого. Ого.
You lied to me, Tom. Your warehouse wasn't empty. It was inhabited with armed vigilantes.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reed, but I thought those Prewen guards would be willing to let someone like you pass without trouble.
That was devious of you, Tom. Next time you can bloody well go yourself.
I apologize, Doctor, but it's just that I prefer to avoid the law, its enforcers, and all manner of thugs in uniform.
Мені навіть алкоголь не
Here
потрібен.
is your booze. I hope it will appease your customers. Just try not to kill anyone with this poison of yours.
Believe me, Doctor, most of my customers are less agreeable when sober.
Why does your waitress feel in danger working on the docks?
This part of town is dangerous for all, but for women it's worse, as always. Sabrina is a brave girl, but she can't help feeling in danger.
Do you think she has good reason to feel this way? Are you not worried about her safety?
Of course I am. The truth is, she's tougher than me deep inside. She just has to learn to control it.
Why not leave town and start a new life after you got out of jail?
I grew up in the East End. This is where my roots are. This is where I want to help others and die, eventually.
Do you think the docks will always be a hive of scum and villainy?
As long as poverty and fear run the show, I don't see how it would change. Misery loves company, as they say.
Don't you feel threatened, staying in such a violent and criminal neighborhood?
I've made peace with my violent past, Dr. Reed. I may not be a pacifist, but I'm not angry anymore.
Ми його вже непогано так прочитали.
Tell me about your arrest for attempted murder, Tom.
I tried to kill someone. I got arrested. I paid my debt and I have nothing to hide.
Do you think prison changed you? Made you a better man?
Oh, I don't know about that. All I brought back is bad memories, scars, and an ugly tattoo of a blue turtle.
But do you feel cleansed of your sins?
All I know is that I'm at peace. I did what I did, but I wouldn't do it again. Does that make me a better man? I don't know.
Ну, судячи з того, що ти мене відправив за бухлом, а сам не пішов, не сказав би, що ти став порядочним громадянином. Став виконувати чорну роботу за тебе, ще й під риском, що можуть вбити.
So you mean your customers know about your sordid past?
Yeah, why do you think this is the last pub open? I have nothing to hide, and I don't judge. That's a relief for many round here.
You attempted murder. Give me some details.
I was given an order to kill. I was an obedient gang member at the time, a proud wet boot boy.
Окрі ботинки ще тоді існували.
Why did you join the gang?
Because I finally felt useful. Do you have any idea what it means to feel respected when the rest of the world shits on you?
So you were ordered to kill someone. What happened then?
I don't know if you can possibly understand, but I couldn't kill him. I just stood there pointing my gun. Someone saw me. I gave up.
Why couldn't you shoot?
My target was eating in that fancy restaurant with mirrors and music. He was eating, drinking, laughing. He was having such a good time. I hated him for his bottomless appetite and easy life of easy pickings. And then something happened.
Ви побоялись убити. Ну, нічого поганого в цьому нема, але це якось з упреком. Неприкольно. Ви зрозуміли, як тискливе ваше життя, це теж, але ви...
You refused to kill him because you wanted to feel some of that happiness yourself. You empathized with him.
Exactly. The
Бачі.
man was a bloody landlord who rented overpriced flats. A selfish bastard. But he made me smile. And I was no different from him.
Проявив емпатію.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
You still working at this?
Were you aware of Tom's past incarceration?
That's the first thing he told me when he offered me the job. He didn't want me hearing about his past from anyone else.
Did it surprise you to find out about it?
Not really. I was already aware of his reputation before I met him. That's why I came to the Turtle in the first place.
Most people would have run away because of that.
Not me. I thought a man like him could give me stability, you know? At least to some degree.
Враження, що у вас якісь стосунки.
Tell me, Sabrina, do you really believe Tom has renounced his life of crime?
He proves it to me every day he tells the truth. Tom Watts is a good man. One of the best.
And you don't think he might fall back into his sordid ways?
We can all do terrible things, Dr. Reed. And we never know what we're really capable of until it's too late.
Окей.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
Дякую. Тут ловити мені більше, мабуть, немає що. Я не пам'ятаю квест, секундочку. Едвіна Кокс, торговка, яка планує стати королевою преступного світу у доках Істенда. Напряму спитала мене, чи готов я використовувати своє положення врача та проникнути у запретну зону в Саутуаркі. Вона хоче, щоб я відругав тих могильників, які не відправили їй єжетижневу долю добичі. яка була вкрадена у мертвеців. Може піти туди і розумію. Так.
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. What do you want?
I managed to reach the mass grave in Southwark. It was not pleasant.
Spare me the details, Dr. Reed. All I want to know is what happened to those bastards who owed me money.
I'm afraid those bastards, as you call them, are in the mass grave.
Dead? Shit. That money would have been useful. Well, I'll tell my boys to avoid the place if it's that dangerous.
Yes. Everybody should avoid that place until further notice.
Okay then, Doctor. It looks like you deserve your reward after all. The Wet Boot Boys thank you for your help.
Booth Digby looks at you with love-struck eyes. Tell me, Edwina, is the feeling mutual?
You have no idea how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. For once.
I'll take your word for it.
What is it, Doctor? A woman's not supposed to talk about these things.
Да, вона їм маніпулює, але чи це мені потрібно казати? Мене сложно шокувати. А, давай ви маніпулюєте.
I believe you manipulated Booth Digby to get everything you wanted from him, both inside and outside the bedroom.
The poor bastard is good to me, if you must know. He makes me feel good. And that's a first.
So you're just like any other couple, after all, are you not?
Yeah, we're so ordinary that I'd put a bullet in his head if he ever cheated on me.
Tell me your feelings about Booth's belief in monsters, Edwina.
It makes him look weak in front of the boys, that's my feeling about it. But ghosts don't scare me.
You don't believe he really saw something then?
I don't care what he saw or not. All I know is that a real man keeps his fears to himself if he wants to be obeyed.
Цілком.
Goodbye, Miss Cox.
Foolish girl and her pretty principles. She's got no idea who she's dealing with.
Так, що тут? Ягоди. Це все зачинено. Пробратися я ніяким чином поки не можу. Головне не продати ці часи. Оці часи потрібно якось не продати.
Moron had me laughing at first, but to think, you.
Do you know Edwina suspects you to be unfaithful?
Edwina's the one who asked to be called Mrs. Cox, even though Clay hadn't touched her for such a long time.
You have not answered my question.
She's a passionate woman. I've no doubt she'll shoot me down if I ever betray her, but that's not going to happen. I love her as she is.
I know you believe monsters are real, Booth.
They are. I know, I saw one, but no one believes me.
Tell me what you saw.
It was a few years ago. Clay Cox was still the boss then. He'd sent me to the shipyard to find out who was stealing tools and ropes at night.
Go on.
First, I thought it was an old lady with a limp. It looked frail and crooked. Then I saw it grab a bloody beam and lift it like it was a stick. I shouted. It looked straight at me.
Do you know what it was?
It was all eyes and long teeth, but I couldn't see its face. I shot at it when it moved towards me and I hit it. And then it jumped and vanished in the shadows.
You could have imagined all that. These docks can be so gloomy at night. With the fog and the wind and the boats creaking.
No, Doctor. That night I saw the fucking sewer dog for real. It's not a beast like the stories say. It's the ghost of an old woman. Bullets can't stop it. But no one believes me.
Are your friends mocking you?
Even Edwina told me once to never speak about it, but I know what I saw. And it wasn't a human. Not human at all.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
Так, що у нас ще залишилось? Я хизи, як добратися до того місця, а воно там все зачинено. Ключів нема.
Moron had me laughing at first.
Pleasure, sir.
А де його? Де я його знайду? Я поки не знаю, де шукати. Я думаю, потім пізніше я зможу зрозуміти, де шукати, тому поки що цим квестом ми. Що ти повірив? Хоча є одна догадка, спуститись нижче, пошукати десь в підвалах. Так, це мост. Це не те. Я ненавиджу себе за те, що відвернулася, коли вони сміялись над моїм кольором кожи. Я ненавиджу себе за те, що плачу як дівчинка, коли вони мене оскорбляють. Я ненавиджу себе за те, що ругаюсь як хлопчик, коли вони уходять. Я ненавиджу себе за те, що ненавиджу батьків. Я ненавиджу за те, що посміхаюсь, коли клієнти називають мене печальною буріною. Я ненавиджу себе за те, що мені не вистачає сміливості розказати тому про свої відчуття.
For now, everything seems under control, more or less.
Don't forget to keep an eye out for this guard of something, sweetie. I guess.
I can feel it coming in my bones.
Good evening.
Yeah, yeah.
Goodbye.
I can feel it coming in my bones.
Іди розкажи правду.
You still work?
Sabrina, tell me about your true feelings for your boss.
I love Tom. Not ashamed of it. Don't care if the customers joke about it neither.
За що?
Who's mocking you?
I mean, we're always together. People will talk, won't they?
Це можна вважати це як сімейний бізнес, чи
Does
проблема.
Tom love you?
Yeah, but he's always reluctant to take it further. It's not because I'm younger, or because of the colour of my skin. He hates jokes about us.
Goodbye, Miss.
Welcome.
Sabrina seems very fond of you, Tom.
I like her too. I really do. I know I'm her boss and I'm much older and all. But I like her for sure.
What is bothering you then?
Sabrina is an angry one. She wears it like a coat. I'm not sure I can make her shed that anger. It hurts to see her like that.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
He's just another lost orphan.
You know, it would be nice to see each other outside the pub sometime.
This situation won't last forever. After, we'll have plenty of time to plan the future.
Good thing we haven't seen Seymour for a while. Even Dyson has stopped coming in every night.
The pub's become right peaceful, don't you think?
Та да, ось тобі і Дайсон. Прям взагалі не заходить. Смішно. Так, ну ок. Я виконав достатню кількість квестів. Дякую за підписку Вуйко ТВ. Як брати цю музику? Де вона грає? Я взагалі не можу зрозуміти. Де грає, ладно. Так, подумаємо. Давайте подумаємо. Цей квест я хизи, поки як виконувати. Цей квест я не знаю, як добратися до того місця. Може воно потім відчиниться. Тут і все прийшов. І це мені все. Гоу по сюжетці. Гоу по сюжетці. Згадати, як добратися. Зараз можу повернути ліворуч.
It's locked, all right.
Окей.
Without the wet boots keeping things straight, these parts would be running completely amok.
Давайте тут перевіримо дещо. От звідки беруться оці маркери? Я ж їх не клацаю. Боже, це трошки дратує. Окей, ну я вже втомився на вас витрачати купу часу. Хоча Жін з іншої сторони. А давайте спробуємо дещо.
Stupid fucking beast! Take a breath of this! There's one of them vermin!
Ти що робиш?
Listen to what the idiot had to say first.
Ох, я тоже забыл. О, божечки мої рідні. Вчора ж... О, май. Вчора ж день народження було... Ого. Хвилиночку. На одну хвилинку, зараз піду. Зупинилась.
It's a leech! Kill it! It's a leech! Kill it!
It's a leech! Паралич. Так, ми, мабуть, стільки інформації нової дізналися. Але ні.
I'll leave.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Pardon my boldness, Your Ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? a kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Ага, значить мені можна, да? На мене ти хочеш все скинути, сама не хочеш.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
Не схоже, що це правда. Я думаю...
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion.
Я думав, у вампірах потрібно обов'язково бути червоні очі.
When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Хоча, може воно і є червоні очі, якщо багато жрати людей. Так.
I think of...
My situation is dead.
I wish I could be sick again.
Every street corner.
Blood boil with the fever.
Daily.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect.
Oh.
What? What? What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse, or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's
не то
honest
слово.
truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off they are.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. Miss Jones.
Again?
Now,
Well,
have you noticed any suspicious comings or goings?
it would be a great deal easier to make a list of things unsuspicious in this house of charlatans.
Come now, Miss Jones. Surely it's not that bad.
Have you no eyes? This hospital accepts all manner of souls, regardless of origin. The proper sick cannot heal. We're kept sickened by the refugees.
Everyone here is very capable. I have not seen any instances of unprofessionalism.
Thieves and murderers, the lot. People have gone missing here, you know. Poof, without a trace.
Братику, ми з тобою вже кожний випадок, що з ким не спілкувались, то там прям привід некомпетентності.
If you could just tell me why you were admitted.
It's terrible, Doctor. What with a pain in my chest, coughing up blood, and I get awfully tired. Wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't lost my house and all.
I see.
No one comes to visit, you know. Not even my own flesh and blood.
I'll come and visit you shortly. Good night, Miss Jones.
Good night, Miss.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
What can you tell me about the strange man?
Let me...
Goodbye.
Так, це мені ніяким чином не допомогло, але вона і не підсала цього факту. Хтось справді до неї приходить.
Another night with the glorious mentality.
Ukraine. Brannigan.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Швидко
Goodbye, Nurse.
і лаконічно. Подвал, кажете. Так, це я щось кудись далеко. Що ж пішов вже? Щоб активувати чутку, що місцевий веде себе підозріло, його серце буде крутитись по-особливому. Подивився на розблокуйте особливу дію.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Зато англійський я тебе кидав.
He's locked the door behind him. I need to find another way to follow him. This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
Опа! Здоров, дякую за хвостик. І за рейдик. А, за донатик. Фіга. Неочікувано, дуже неочікувано. Дуже дякую. Прям не музичка, а хорор якийсь, то, особливо під файтом. І оце що в нас так? Оце нам що дають? Оце нам дають якусь ручку. Зі швидкістю, офігеть, якою... А, маленька швидкість. Можливості дати. Ну ні. Хоча 110 урон. Виглядає впливово. Подивимось. Поки що мене і... так влаштовує. Хоча... Давайте, мабуть, спробуємо. 95, 110, це я вже достатньо покращив, щоб... Встигати навряд чи був. Тут я затопив, мог підібратися зі спини.
I don't want to die here. I want to see the sky, feel the fresh air.
А, я вас шукав.
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please,
Calm
take a
down,
deep
man.
breath
Calm down.
and tell me your name.
Okay. Okay, I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Окей. Біль.
Are you sure you're all right?
А, ні, дякую, дякую, братику. Заважай мені. Мені залутати. Тобі не страшно? Не страшно? Ти мене не помічаєш, що я вампір там? Не кричиш, ніяк не реагуєш. Ой. Недоробка. От тут я думаю, що можна було б доробити в стилі, не можна було б використовувати поруч з громадянами скілуху. Бо це виглядає, ну, дуже тупо. Ой, я вийшов. Виходити не можна було. Чого? А, чи... Мені все ж таки сюди. Ох, намічається, ох, щось намічається. Це ж очевидно, що це якась арена. І зараз буде веселуха. Ну що, поїхали.
What sort of creature is this?
А я вже все речі з тобою дрався. Ого. О. Боляче ж. Ах.
Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but I should anyway.
Якщо ви хворі, якщо у вас нема грошей, неважливо хто ви, неважливо звідки, звертайтесь за допомогою до Доротеї. Ніякого обману, ніякої плати, ніяких питань. Просто знайдіть дом Даріуса Петреску і покажіть цей купон.
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
Ось. Нелогічно. Навіщо він пішов у каналізацію? Якщо тут така хрінь відбувається. Ось логіка дуже страждає. Ну, не дуже страждає. Ну ладно, це гра про вампірів, чого я взагалі хочу від цієї гри. Але це по суті. Ну тут в будь-якій грі, будь-якої вимислу можна ж придумати логіку. І достатньо непогано. Хоча, може, якось я чогось недорозумію. Може, просто тут випадково з'явився перевертень. Та й випадково з'явились скали. Ладно, пофіг. Не будемо заморачуватись.
you found Oswald?
Not yet, sir.
All right.
Тобто я його
I
знайшов.
have all the...
Thank you, Doc.
Тобто я його не знайшов, я його знайшов.
Have you found...
Not yet, sir.
All right.
I have all the information.
Thank you.
Тобто.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Ну. Як побажаєте. Мабуть, з наступної ночі вже буде апдейт і він зрозуміє, що він знайшов того хлопця. Бля, а Вайтчепел важке місце, до речі, прям достатньо важке.
Best run alone, sir. Sir! Step away!
Та я не підходжу, задрав.
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye, best be on your way out. More and more every... Step away, sir!
Так, ну тут ви мені заважаєте. Лич!
Oh my god! Die, vermin! He's too fucking fast!
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
The wet boots will be proud of me. I'm not...
Я тобі ще не можу, да, допомогти?
Goodbye.
Ні, не можу.
I'll not die in some piss stinking alley reeking worse than a week old nappy.
Чуваки відпочивають, гарне місце. Безпечне, мабуть, стопудняк. О, здорово.
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed.
Я знаю, що ти
But I'll
скряга.
gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here.
Звичайно.
My business,
О,
could I
боже
say,
мой.
a live tenant,
Я ж
a
ви-
paying tenant.
Я ж видаю ліки через кнопочку Є, а... О, боже. О.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
Я протикав діалог. Але він мерзавець.
I'm no saint, but to take advantage as you do, you are a despicable man who could only prosper in these dark times.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, save lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swamborous shit.
What help could I possibly be to your
Я
business?
розпочитаю.
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret.
I understand. So it's an...
What is your business exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
Ми читали листа, ми в курсі. Читали.
You obviously place yourself above the misery of Whitechapel, but you are as repellent an individual as I have ever met.
Begging your pardon, I thought you was a man who could appreciate the complexity of the modern world. Things ain't just black and white, you know.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the increasing violence in London?
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you.
А я і не хочу бути around.
I want to know everything about the recent violence, Cadogan. And I want the truth.
Well, rent may be a bit high, and yeah, I've had to evict a few people. But that's business, isn't it?
Хотів би я столкнутися з вами пізніше, братику. Та ще столкнемося, ще у нас його в планах з'їсти.
Take this as my final warning. You will not profit from the misery of others. Business is one thing, but what you do is quite another.
Really? What you gonna do? You ain't from here. You ain't Whitechapel, Doctor. You wouldn't know the first thing about playing dirty, even if you wanted to.
Що, я тебе з'їм.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane. She's a nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Dorothy Crane, bless her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Has she treated you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
Tell me truthfully, why are you so thankful?
By keeping my tenants alive, she's making me a rich man. Every month they live, it's more coin in my pocket.
700 досвіду. Ну це мало. Це мало. Ладно.
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days, that's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people's minds. Take this, in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
Goodbye.
Зовсім вже забув. Так. Зараз ми повернемося, я поки там не загубив того хлопця.
I'm not your...
Do you need us?
Please. Feeling...
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Goodbye.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lappy.
Якась жіночка. Від мігрені в мене нічого нема, да, йому?
Good evening. You don't seem well, Benjamin.
I always feel ill, sir.
I will see you. A gun? Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Вона мені вже подобається.
I'd like to see...
Ну, о, в неї можна придбати різні ліки, прикольно. Але поки що мені це нічого не потрібно.
Goody. Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Goodbye.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to
Так,
all your
окей.
problems.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr.
Це аргумент,
Come into
аргумент.
that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Вона
Richard
таємно
Middelcott.
допомагає.
No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Цікаво.
Must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Так, з собою я вже спілкувався. Це що?
I must.
Аріус.
Joe, please, I don't have your money. Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind. Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Хорошо.
Have you heard of a nurse
Доводилось
named
чути
Dorothy
про
Crane?
сестру по імені Дороті
She's a
Крейн.
colleague
Вона
of
моя
mine,
колега,
and
кажуть.
is supposed to live
Вона
around
живе
here.
неподалеку.
Crane?
Дороті Крейн, да, я її знаю. Вона одна з небагатьох добрих душ, які взагалі намагаються допомогти хворим. Ви не розкажете про неї побільше? Вона доволі мила, намагається допомагати приїжджим. Я якось допомогти, але вона відказалась, мов репутація їй зашкодить.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
А ти що?
Welcome, sir.
Добре пожалують, пане. Будь ласка, злійте мої товари. Я доктор Рід. Якщо ви не проти, я хотів би дещо вас спитати. Доктор? Прикольно. Я Барет Льюіс. Зазвичай мені ніколи спілкуватися, але в такий час я відмовити не можу. Як ваші справи? Справи? Ніяких справ в мене нема. Вори тягають, бандити вимагають, люди бояться одні збитки, ясно? Боже, в своїх невдачах ви звинувачуєте когось одного? Не секрет, Джо Пітерсон шантажує торговців, що касається мене. Мене він хоче розорити. Ви торговець, кожен день буваєте у Уайтчепелі. Не помічали чого-небудь незвичайного в останній час? Якщо не вважати епідемії, воїни і іншого гівна. Ця частина міста завжди була зловонною ямою, до її дна ми ще не добралися. Уровень насилля тут зростає, да. Пару днів на зображенні майстернях вискочили якісь та хлопці і напали на мене. Вони були у ліхорадці, у якійсь маячині. Де це відбулося? Як ви там опинилися? Неподалеку закрився мастерський, зачинені свої часи, я працював там кимось. Так переходжу туди шукати інструменти, різне барахло. Шкода, що тоді мене крадіжка, грабування. Пограбували. Вас поранили? Ні. Але тільки тому, що я біг як угорілий. Ті парні точно скажені. Кажуть, вони ж нічого не могли. Так вопили. Так. Ви чули про сестру Дороті Крейн? Сестра Крейн. А, так це та сука медсестра. А я тут думав, що вона просто пронира іностранка. Щось ти не дуже прикольний. Я думав, ти гарний хлопчик, а ти такі погані слова кажеш. Ну, судячи по всьому, вона допомагає всім. І вона чудова медсестра, але вона намагається допомогти, тому що я ще не впевнений, що вона там робить. Тому давайте вона намагається допомогти.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Слухай, так, по суті, та тебе можна і наоборот гарно, щоб ти збанкрутів. Отакі покидьки. Ще та заноза у спільноти. Супер, молодець.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Батько. Тобто, падре.
Forgive my interruption.
Пише, що вас потребував. Не потрібно вибачати, сину мій. Отець Тобіас Уайтпір завжди рад побачити.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed.
А доктор Джонатан Рід, у мене є декілька питань. Ви вчений? Сину мій, ви куди ближче до погибелі, ніж я... Погав думати. Ви маєте на увазі, що я ближче до загибелі, ніж ви думали. І вчені погрязлі у пучині причин і наслідків. Але ви ж самі даєте відповіді. Хочете дізнатись про апокаліпсис, який того і ось нагряне. Хочете дізнатись... Що ж, будь ласка, послухайте декілька хвилин вашу так називаємо правду не буде окремо. Ви ж доктор, і під час епідемії для вас це не секрет. Дозвольте сказати вам, що так називаємо іспанка це тільки початок кінця. Що? Звір нарешті явив себе. А, і що ж ви таке хочете?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us, but not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Цей братик хоче всіх спалювати, чи що? А, от... Капець. Ви уявляєте, який він може бути скаженим? Просто він може взяти і полити все місто, просто к хірам. Лондонська ж пожежа, вона ж була. А в якому році була лондонська пожежа? Блін, цікаво, це у нас хвилиночку. Лондонська пожежа. Великий лондонська пожежа. Так. Масштабна пожежа в Лондоні, що тривала з 2 А ні, це вже давним-давно. Давно-давно. Це ще 1666 рік. Ладно.
All's quite a...
You are...
Really? What? Tell me, Tobias. What exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop?
Це не те, що я хотів сказати.
The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Quite a... I am. Quite a... Well, what... I have heard enough. Goody. Have you any friends?
Ні, він всіх спалив.
Terrible times.
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
О Боже.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Хлопця потрібно негайно рятувати.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
I have heard it.
I've heard enough. Agree.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
У нього такий піджачок, дивіться, ну, моднявий.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
Вибачаюсь. Це логічно. Це правда. Але це погано. Але це логічно. Це позор. Це... Не кримінал, а... Ні. Забув. Нацертла. Злочин. Я не підглядував, до речі. Це злочин. Так, це позор, це злочин і це логічно. Тут ніде нема фрази «це правильно», і я з цим погоджуюсь, тому що це в будь-якому випадку точно неправильно. Логічно, це преступно, це преступно. Це позор, це позор. Це підходить. Ладно, давайте так. Будемо...
If no one stops it, this epidemic could turn into a scourge. It may kill more people than the war itself.
Yes, this is another kind of war, but just as deadly. History will judge us all for what we did and what we did not.
Це правда. Моральний дух бійців просто значно упаде, і війна, скоріше за все, програна.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
Так.
So you risked your
Значить,
life
заради
to reveal the truth.
істини ви
I saw
готові
many
ризикнути
reporters do the
життю?
same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible
Чапел
of so many untold
це
stories
місто
and
багатьох
tragedies.
історій і трагедій. Я
I
хочу,
want
щоб
people
люди
to know
дізнались про них. Що він? Клейтон хоче, щоб газети публікували правду ситуації в Вайтчепелі. Красава, я теж згоден. А чого б ні?
That's quite honorable.
Це дуже благородно з вашої сторони,
But
але
is the public interested?
ти
Not at all,
цікавить
sir. And that's
для
why
людей.
I'm an
Нічого сира.
independent
Саме цьому
journalist,
я і
hoping to
незалежний
tell some
журналіст, який може редактувати свої статті, як він забажає.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets?
Ви хоч
at night?
розумієте,
I've
як
had to
небезпечно
run and
вночі?
hide more than once
Мені вже
from
приходилось
frenzied
рятувати
mobs
людей від обізнувшої
incensed by
ліхорадки,
the
доктор.
fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
Просто епідемія. Хоча ні. Факт іспанки, наче як таковий є.
That science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess I share your point of view, Doctor.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby.
Так і так. Потрібно рятувати сина з кладовища. Ладно, ми врятуємо його пізніше. Останню чергу, го по сюжету все ж. Так, хлопці, у вас тут... Бля, я застряг. Та ви... Випустіть мене звідси.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so.
Цікава думка.
But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you, for a start, my dear Doctor.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
My mother loved poetry. Perhaps your words would have touched her sensitive nature. I only see a dreadful disease.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Не знаю, не знаю. Знаєте, чим менше у жінки різних загадок, тим спокійніше можна жити.
In what way exactly?
The struggle by gaslight.
Питання
the
тільки в
barren
тому,
smiles
чи
and the
хочете
added
ви
hunger
спокійно
under the
жити, чи вам
rain.
потрібні
If you
якісь
say so.
емоції.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid
Це
paradox.
сказати,
The stripped humanity raged
определенність.
across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Так, окей.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'll leave you.
Може, зі всіма познайомився. Так, окей. Я думаю, що на даний момент ми поки що все. Бо я хочу сходити поїсти. А для цього мені потрібно приготувати. І потім ще й поїсти. Тому це може зайняти певний час. Тому краще я офну стрім. А потім, коли звільнюся, то продовжу. Може сьогодні підроблю ще на стрім з Аскент з Теочем і Едією. Може ні, побачимо. В будь-якому випадку планую ще підробити. Може Вампіра, може Аскента, може після Аскента і Вампіра. Коротше, побачимо. Зараз тоді роблю переривчик, може на годинку, може більше. Зрозуміло. Всім дякую. Що залишались зі мною під час цього стріму. Нестік, дякую за донат.